When it comes to jutsu that are absolutely hacks in the Naruto series, the Flying Thunder God is one of the ones to get brought up a lot. The jutsu allows the user to either teleport to where they have the jutsu formula sealed or the place where the chakra is linked. As many of you guys know, Naruto Uzumaki is not one of the 5 users of the jutsu. However, what if this wasn't the case? What if Naruto actually learned the Flying Thunder God jutsu? Just how different would the Naruto story be if this happened? Would things end up for better or would they end up for worse? In today's edition of Naruto What If, we're going to take a look at just that scenario. So just like usual, in order for this to happen, we must first establish a trigger point for this jutsu to be learned. In my opinion, there are only 2 scenarios where this could have happened in the 72 volumes of the Naruto manga. Either Genma, the exam proctor of the Chunin exams, teaches it to Naruto after the exams, which, as a reminder, Genma and the other 2 members of Minato's Hokage squad also know the jutsu. Or, in addition to learning the Shadow Clone jutsu, while he's learning from the Seal of Scrolls in chapter 1, I could see Naruto stumbling across this Flying Thunder God jutsu. Now, in my opinion, that scenario is the one that I don't think is going to happen because there's too many things that we don't know for certain. We don't know whether or not that the Flying Thunder God jutsu was stashed away into the Scroll of Seals, which were basically jutsu that the first Hokage deemed to be too dangerous to make common use. It's easy to assume that that's likely the case when it comes to the Flying Thunder God, but I want to avoid the scenario in order to be safe because we don't know that for sure. So this basically leaves scenario 2, which is Genma teaching Naruto the jutsu. Now, the only time that Naruto could have hoped to have learned this jutsu would have been during the 3 months between the Sasuke retrieval arc and Naruto leaving to train with Jiraiya. Genma would reflect on how he saw Naruto fighting the Chunin exams, displaying enough chakra control to be able to handle the small portion of the Kyuubi's chakra that he used to beat Neji, and he would realize that Naruto would have gained enough chakra levels required to master the jutsu that Naruto's father made famous. Now, as a reminder, this jutsu does require a pretty substantial amount of chakra to use, since it was directly stated that the 3 Hokage guards needed to pull the chakra together just to use the basic teleportation version of the jutsu because they didn't have Minato's massive chakra reserves. Now, given the fact that Genma, being the Hokage guard of Minato as well as Tsunade, this means that Genma likely knows of Naruto's true identity, and I could see him choosing to teach it to Naruto so as to keep Minato's legacy alive, knowing that Naruto would need every bit the edge that he could now that Naruto's entering a point in his life where he just fought off a Jinchuriki in order to protect the village, and he's now facing off against Orochimaru in the hopes to bring Sasuke back to the village. And given the fact that Orochimaru just killed the 3rd Hokage, Genma would know that Naruto needs every edge that he could get. I believe that in these 3 months that Genma and the other guards will work with Naruto to teach him the basics of the jutsu, and I believe that's more than enough time for Naruto to do so. You have to remember, in only 10 days, Naruto was able to master a change in chakra nature and make 2 brand new jutsu, the Wind Style Rasengan and the Rasen Shuriken. While he used the Shadow Clones to speed up the process, it should be noted that Naruto was doing something that not even his genius of a father was able to do, and there was no one there to instruct him step by step how to invent a completely brand new jutsu. Only Kakashi gave him the idea to use Shadow Clones, but after that, everything was on Naruto. In this scenario, Naruto would have 3 experienced users who could walk him through the mechanics of using the Flying Thunder God. Now, for those of you who might be wondering how I got the number of Naruto mastering all this stuff in 10 days, I'll keep it very brief. Shikamaru states that Asuma hadn't smoked in 2 days since Chiriku passed away. Now, in the manga, the Akatsuki took 6 days to seal away the 2 and the 3 tails, and Naruto showed up that afternoon to defeat Kakuzu. You get close to the 10 days when you factor in the fact that Naruto was training at least a couple of days before the Akatsuki suppression team was assembled, so that's how you get 10 days. Now, diving right back into the what if, after 3 long months of training, Naruto would master the jutsu, showing it off to Jiraiya as he teleported back to his apartment and then back to Jiraiya to gather his things and leave with the village with Jiraiya. It would be in this moment that Jiraiya would truly know that Naruto was indeed someone special, the child of prophecy that he had been searching for. This will make Jiraiya train Naruto even harder, which will make Naruto more powerful than he was in the original timeline. From here, the story progresses much the same. However, I do see there being a change when Naruto comes back from the time skip. Now, the Kazekage rescue arc continues much the same. However, I see a problem when Naruto does find the body of Gaara. Given how quickly Naruto originally rushed in to confront Deidara and Sasori and was only saved by Kakashi at the very last minute, I could see Naruto throwing his kunai at them, to which Deidara will be likely to brush it off. Given his character, just as Kakashi screamed for Naruto to stop, Naruto, who would already be influenced by some of the Kyuubi's chakra, would teleport behind Deidara with this massive Rasengan form. Before Sasori could warn Deidara, Naruto slams his Rasengan into Deidara. Given that Naruto's giant Rasengan would have caught him off guard, I could see the attack at the very least knocking Deidara unconscious, and if you believe like I do that Deidara is caught completely off guard, then Deidara would be killed before his body even hit the floor. However, it would be during this time that Sasori would attempt to strike Naruto using the tail of the Hiraku puppet. However, given the fact that Naruto would be infuriated and already on on guard about Sasori. The moment that he saw the tail coming, Naruto would touch Gaara and teleport back to Kakashi. Now, being in possession of Gaara's body is a major game changer. Kakashi would be able to order Naruto to teleport Gaara's body back to where they already had the flying Raijin marker set up, and Kakashi would also be teleported away in order to keep the sanity of the student, knowing that it's likely that once Naruto realizes Gaara's dead, that Naruto's likely to snap. The Sakura and Chiyo battle happens much the same, but only in this scenario, Naruto whips in at the last second like an orange blur with Kakashi in tow, just as Sasori prepares to use his 1000 puppets. The battle that followed will be absolutely insane. Naruto will spam the flying thunder god to strike down the puppets, Kakashi will use his Sharingan's Eye of Insight to counter the puppets that he battled, and Sakura will fight alongside Chiyo, and the four-man team would slowly wear down on Sasori. Just as Sasori tried to stab Sakura towards the end of the fight, Naruto will teleport over to at the last second, teleport her away, and Chiyo would manage to bring down Sasori with the puppets of Sasori's family. The next change that occurs is during the Tenchi Bridge arc. I still believe that Naruto will fight Orochimaru in this four-tailed state, given the strong reaction Naruto would have to seeing Orochimaru. This means by the time that he meets Sasuke, Naruto will still be recovering, which means there's a chance Naruto doesn't have enough chakra to use multiple flying thunder god jutsus. However, I do believe that Naruto would have enough chakra to at least place the sealing formula on Sasuke, and the best time to do so would be when Naruto grabs Sasuke's arm after Sasuke drew his sword and attacked Sai. After Orochimaru and Kabuto take Sasuke, the mission wouldn't be a complete failure. Naruto would disclose to Tsunade that he managed to get a sealing formula on Sasuke, who would now be back at one of Orochimaru's hideouts. Upon hearing this, Tsunade would take the ultimate gamble and assemble a team of Kakashi, Jiraiya, Naruto, Sakura, Sai, and Yamato. The six would be assembled into two teams of three. Team A would track down Orochimaru and Kabuto, with the intent being to subdue or eliminate. This team would consist of Jiraiya, Sai, and Yamato. Team B would be the original Team Kakashi, teaming up with the sole intent to bring Sasuke back to Konoha by any means necessary. After Kakashi is discharged from the hospital, Naruto would teleport the two teams directly into the hideout to the bedside of Sasuke as Sasuke is resting from his training. Once Sakura took a step towards Sasuke, Sasuke's eyes would snap open with the Sharingan active. As Sasuke turned over, his eyes would move from Sakura to Naruto before his name could be uttered. Sasuke would spring out the bed with his Chidori. Because I believe Jiraiya already would have been in Sage Mode before they teleported, I believe Jiraiya would have canceled out Sasuke's Chidori with his own Rasengan. The light exchange would lead to Orochimaru and Kabuto being alerted, but Kakashi would already have his ninja hounds ready to accompany Team A to find Orochimaru. At this point, Sasuke would face quite the battle. Sasuke would be more than capable of taking down Sakura. I think everybody agrees there. But a fully powered Naruto and Kakashi would make him put up quite the fight, which would lead to an intense battle between the remaining members of Team 7 against Sasuke, and once Sakura wakes up, Sakura would join into the battle. Now, when Team A runs into the duo of Orochimaru and Kabuto, this presents a very interesting matchup because Orochimaru's body wouldn't have been broken down to the point where he needed to be on bed rest until the moment he needed to take Sasuke's body, because this fight would take place roughly a week after Naruto's initial fight with Orochimaru and not much later on in the timeline like it did in the manga. This means there'd be some handicaps in place that favor Jiraiya. Jiraiya stands a much better chance to fight Orochimaru now that he has backup and he's already in Sage Mode and Orochimaru isn't at his full power. While Jiraiya fought Orochimaru, Kabuto would face off against Yamato and Sai, which would be a really interesting fight to see take place. At some point, given how much power is being hurled around, I could see the hideout being destroyed, but after everything's all said and done, I could see Orochimaru being killed and Kabuto being restrained by Yamato. I can also see Sasuke eventually adjusting to Naruto's flying Raijin, being able to counter the jutsu by memorizing where the markers are, but the moment that Naruto begins to spam shadow clones and have Kakashi and Sakura fight alongside of him, I could see Sasuke eventually being restrained, especially if Naruto's given a chakra sealing tag, specifically to seal Sasuke's chakra, which Naruto could do by teleporting to the marker that is on Sasuke's arm and slapping it on Sasuke before he can use his Chidori stream. At this point, Sasuke would be defeated and the teams would return to Konoha with the dead body of Orochimaru and having captured Sasuke and Kabuto. Kabuto would likely be taken to prison where he'd never be heard from again, and Tsunade would be forced to make a tough decision. Now, Sasuke would need to be punished for leaving Konoha. You gotta remember, the only reason that Sasuke was not placed as a ninja to kill is because Tsunade gave Team 7 the opportunity to bring Sasuke back. I could see Sasuke being put in jail. Now, this is where things are gonna get really interesting. I could see Kakashi talking to Sasuke to give him a speech about revenge again, and the words would hit home at this point, because you have to remember that in the original timeline, Sasuke was impacted by Kakashi's words about revenge, and then the Sound Force showed up to sway Sasuke even further. Given the fact that Sasuke in this scenario would have seen firsthand how much his team had grown in the 3 years since Sasuke left them, and how they never given up on their bonds with them and they yet grown stronger, and given the fact that Tsunade would approach Sasuke and give him the opportunity to be a Konoha ninja once again and state that when they get intel on Itachi, that they will allow Sasuke to be on the team that hunts down and ultimately kills Itachi. I can see Sasuke being won over. I believe that at this point Sasuke would disclose the location of Orochimaru's hideouts, leading to the prisoners being freed, which means Karin Uzumaki likely finds her way to Konoha. Given her obsession with Sasuke, I have no doubt she'd find her way to Sasuke. From here, the story progresses much the same. Asuma is still going to die, and Naruto would eventually master a change in chakra nature. After Naruto completes this with Rasen Shuriken, Team 7 would go to back up Kakashi in Team 10, seeing Naruto take down Kakuzu in one attempt. After Naruto combines his Flying Thunder God and the Rasen Shuriken, Sasuke's anger would build, seeing the destructive power that Naruto possessed. I believe that while Naruto recovers, Sasuke would drive himself even deeper into his training. After a few weeks, Tsunade will make good on her promise to allow a team to be specifically put together to hunt down Itachi. The Itachi pursuit team would be the same, however it would now include Sasuke as well as Karin Uzumaki, who Sasuke would insist on having, given the fact that Sasuke knows that Karin is a sensory ninja. This is where things get interesting. Zetsu would have told Obito about Sasuke being back in Konoha, as well as Naruto knowing the Flying Thunder God. This means that Obito can't confront Sasuke because it's a lot harder, since Obito will know the seal is now on Sasuke. In my opinion, I don't believe that Obito will make his move right away, but instead wait for the right moment. After Sasuke defeats a clone of Itachi and is instructed to go to the Uchiha hideout, Kisame likely stops the Itachi pursuit team, stating that Itachi and Sasuke are to fight alone. In my opinion, Naruto would at least give Sasuke the chance to fight Itachi on his own, knowing what doing so meant to Sasuke, though he'd make it clear that upon the first sign that Sasuke is in trouble, Naruto would be right at his side, to which Sasuke would just tell Naruto that he's a loser. While Itachi battled Sasuke, Kisame would have quite the fight on his hands, because the Itachi pursuit team wouldn't just stand by. The Konoha ninja were ordered to either capture the Akatsuki for intel or kill them if they couldn't. Kakashi would lead the charge against Kisame. This pits Kisame against Kakashi, Naruto, Yamato, Sai, Sakura, Shino, Kiba, and Hinata, as well as potentially Karin Uzumaki. Facing off against these 8 ninja alone, 9 if you include Karin, would be quite the fight for Kisame, especially given the unique skill sets that each of these ninja have. Between relying on Samehada to eat away at the chakra and potentially using some of his more overpowered jutsu, I could see Kisame overcoming the numbers advantage. However, Naruto having the flying Raijin and having a brilliant fighter like Kakashi on his side makes me believe that the remaining team could hold off Kisame and eventually kill him. It will be in the moments afterwards that Naruto will teleport himself and Kakashi down to the scene. I don't believe that Obito will make his move on Sasuke like he did originally, and it's because of the flying Raijin. And I could see Obito waiting to make a moment to speak with Sasuke until he knew for certain that the flying Raijin couldn't be used to teleport into his Kamui dimension before doing so, which it should be stated is never confirmed that the Flying Thunder God cannot reach the Kamui dimension. This means that Sasuke never learns the truth about the Uchiha clan, and Itachi's body is taken back to Konoha with his eyes being sealed away in order to prevent Itachi's power of the Sharingan from falling into the wrong hands. However, in the days afterwards, as Sasuke recovers from his fight with Itachi, Sasuke would disclose the fact that he has this Mangekyo Sharingan. Kakashi would tell Sasuke that he would train him to use the Mangekyo after he's been discharged from the hospital. Sasuke will be viewed as a hero to everyone in the Hidden Leaf Village. However, this is where a major change occurs. Upon seeing Kakashi's Sharingan, regardless as to if it's a Mangekyo or a regular Sharingan, Amaterasu would spring forward from Sasuke's eye. Kakashi's fast, but it should be worth noting that at this point in time, Kakashi's at a huge disadvantage here. By this point in the timeline, Kakashi still needed a substantial amount of time to build up the chakra to use Kamui. He couldn't just summon it right at once, whereas Obito at this point in the timeline was able to use Kamui to make his body intangible on a mere whim, and he was able to react quick enough to avoid being burned by Itachi's Amaterasu. Kakashi wouldn't be able to gather the chakra to use Kamui fast enough at this point in the story, especially if he's caught off guard. Kakashi would be burned alive by the Amaterasu, which means that Obito's other eye would be burned as well, and Sasuke would be interrogated about what happened. However, given the fact that Sasuke, last time I checked, Sasuke is pretty intelligent, would be able to put together the pieces of everything that happened, and given the fact that the Hidden Leaf Village happens to have the Yamanaka clan who can go into Sasuke's mind, read everything that happened, and see Sasuke's memories, I believe that Sasuke would eventually be cleared of the murder of Kakashi. This is where Naruto gets hit with a double dose of pain upon learning of both Jiraiya and Kakashi's death, but in this scenario, the one confronting Naruto about the death of his two masters would be Sasuke instead of Iruka. Sasuke will be able to relate to what Naruto's going through and warn him about the danger of allowing anger to consume him and drive his actions. Sasuke ironically will use Talk no Jutsu jutsu, and it would do just enough damage to Naruto to where Naruto would go into his training to learn Sage Mode with a very clear mind. When Pain does attack Konoha, Sasuke would be there to defend the village. Sasuke with the Mangekyo Sharingan would be able to hold his own against whatever 6 paths of pain he fought, especially since Sasuke would have a considerable amount of time to train to master his Mangekyo. And I'll go a step further, he would have at least a month to do so. Now, we know this information because according to Masashi Kishimoto in Data Book 3, it was concluded that Sasuke getting his Mangekyo Sharingan in volume 43, and Might Guy was still 30 years old at this time because he turns 31 years old in January of the next year. This means that the Pain arc has to occur between November and January. Since Jiraiya dies at the age of 54, that means that the Pain arc starts in November and Guy hadn't turned 31 yet by the end of volume 43, since it's before Guy's 31st birthday. Sasuke would manage to take down quite a few of the 6 paths of pain that he was able to run across, but I still see Pain destroying the village. Now, with Tsunade still protecting all the villagers, this means that Sasuke likely would have survived the attack without any type of major injury, and the moment that Naruto appears to be losing the battle against Pain, I believe that Sasuke would be the one to rush out to save Naruto and do so before Hinata was able to get to the battlefield. Now, the reason for this is a lot of people overlook one of the powers of the Sharingan. So the Sharingan also allows you to see chakra as a color, and Sasuke would be able to see the color around Naruto's chakra fluctuate once Pain was able to pin him down using his chakra rods. I believe that Naruto would see this and reach the scene before Hinata. Now, Sasuke would quickly fire off a Susanoo arrow at Pain, who would be forced to use the Almighty Push in order to block the attack. During the 5-second interval, Sasuke will free Naruto, and in between the two of them, I believe they have enough power to take down the final 6 path in Pain. This means Naruto would never go into his 8-tailed form, he would never meet Minato, and this means he never learned that the masked man is actually the one who attacked Konoha, and we all know that to be Obito, but at the time nobody knew that was Obito. Now, Sasuke would also accompany Naruto to track down Nagato, and seeing Naruto forgive the person who killed his master would indirectly emotionally impact Sasuke, since it would be the exact opposite of what Sasuke himself would have done in that instance. Nagato would then go on to revive the villagers, which would further shake up Sasuke, and Obito would be in one hell of a bind here. Now, the Akatsuki as we know it would be completely defeated. Obito would be forced to step back and make a very bold move. By this point, the Akatsuki has sealed away all the Biju except for Killer Bee and Naruto. Obito took matters into his own hands and fight to capture Killer Bee, which he would be fully able to do given the fact he'd be angry, and I believe he'd likely take the time to track down Konan and kill her and take the Rinnegan. I believe that the likely scenario is that Obito being alone and so close to completing the Moon Eye plan, Obito would be forced to make this move, given the fact that he couldn't make his move on Sasuke until Naruto was handled, and also need to be the last Jinchuriki who was sealed away. Now, to put this simply, I don't think this next scenario is going to happen, but I do have to acknowledge it. Simply put, if Obito were able to defeat Naruto and subdue Sasuke after forcibly sealing Naruto away, he could talk Sasuke into being confronted and basically have Sasuke sync up with the Geto Mazu statue. However, I don't think that this happens, and I'll explain to you guys why. So, even if Obito has the Rinnegan, if Obito uses the 9 Phantom Dragon seal on Killer Bee, it would take him an extremely long period of time to do so. It took the Akatsuki 9 members and 3 days to seal away a Biju. Obito at this point is by himself, even with his amps, even with Zetsu helping him seal away Killer Bee. I don't think Obito will be able to quickly seal away Killer Bee. Now, during this time, this very lengthy time, Sasuke would have taken Itachi's eyes, had them surgically implanted into him, and he would have already recovered from the surgery and begun training. Naruto would have begun training to master the Kyuubi's power, though without the help of Killer Bee, Naruto would simply be stumbling, but Naruto would still make that effort. Naruto would know that Sage Mode isn't enough for the next threat that might come towards the village. It's in character at this point for Naruto to want to master the Kyuubi. By the time that Obito shows up in Konoha to attack Naruto, it sets up a major battle. In my opinion, Obito will still see the value of having 6 Jinchuriki there to serve as his 6 paths, just for the fact that having 6 transformed Biju would be enough to overwhelm Konoha. However, with EMS Sasuke and Guy there in the village to back him up, I could see Naruto fighting alongside Sasuke in the charge to defeat Obito, especially if Might Guy is forced into entering into the 8th gate like he was prepared to do when Obito's Jinchuriki were in the transformed state and about to fire the Biju bombs before Naruto unlocked his KCM2 form. Naruto will be able to use Flying Thunder God to attack Obito at the same time Obito attempts to make himself intangible. After a very long and high difficulty battle, I can see Obito being defeated, and the odds of winning decline steeply once Might Guy enters into the 8th gate, unless he's able to bum rush the Biju and take out Obito altogether, which I don't think can happen, but it's a scenario you have to kind of throw in there because somebody's going to highball Might Guy. So with Obito being defeated, Zetsu will be forced to hold off on the revival of Kaguya and be forced to wait for the next set of reincarnates to be exploited, or wait for the moment that Sasuke once again falls into the darkness. However, given everything that's transpired, I don't see that happening. Well guys, that's gonna be it for my what if, and in my opinion, Naruto having the Flying Thunder God jutsu eliminates a lot of threats and it shapes a lot of the story, especially if Naruto's able to put the marker onto Sasuke. Now, let me know what you guys think best should have happened here, and as a quick reminder, if this video can hit 3,000 likes, then I'll have what if Naruto mastered the 8 inner gates in less than a week. But as always guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching on to the end. Have an awesome day guys.